Who is a perfect living master? In truth, if I gave a short answer, you may not like it. In truth, a perfect living master is your own highest self. He appears as another person, appears as a human being, because that's how we recognize people in the physical world. When you go to the inner world, he's still there, and he's separate from you. You go to the mental world, he's still there, separate from you. Even if you discover your identity as the life force, the vital force that is creating the mind, he's still there, separate from you. When you go beyond to your true self, he was the true self. That means there was no distinction between the ultimate self and the perfect living master. So he is performing a role to help you to attach yourself inside rather than outside. You cannot practice detachment. You say, I'm detached to something, you are more attached to it. I gave examples many times. That is why a perfect living master is something you can get attached to during this journey of going within, and that helps a lot.
Good morning, everyone. Thank Master Bobby is here. She was having a hard time to log in. So Master brought her. Thank you, God. Thank you, Master. Did you guys see the gorgeous schedule and enjoy it? The flowerful, beautiful Master schedule. Thank you. So I will read it for you. What we have today in our holy dance. I think our souls have started dancing already. We have a hymn by Sister Nisha, and it says, I have been pierced, wow, by the arrow of Master's love. Wow. Then there are a few words by me. Then we have a 21-minute talk from our dear sister Shalina, who we love her. We love her satsang, we love her readings, and I can't wait. Title, Discouragement in Meditation. And then I picked a video of our Holy Father, Ishwar Puri Ji, by random, and we're gonna play that. Then we're gonna all melt in his love, in his holy feet. I can't wait. Looking forward for today's blessings that have already started. So let's start with our dear sister Nisha.
Radha Swami, today's hymn is by Bulesha. Here Bulesha is crying out his love for his master. He says, I've been pierced by the arrow of love. What shall I do? I can neither live nor can I die. Listen to my ceaseless outpourings. Night and day, I have no peace. I cannot live without my beloved even for a moment. What shall I do? I can neither live nor I can die. The fire of separation is unceasing. Let someone alleviate my agony of pain. How can I be saved without seeing my beloved? Oh Bulla, I am in deep trouble. Let someone come and help me. How will I endure such torture? What shall I do? I can neither live nor I can die. अब लगन लगी कि करिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए अब लगन लगी कि करिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए तुम सुनो हमारे बैना रात दिन नाही चैना उन पी बिन फलक न सरिए उन पी बिन फलक न सरिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए अब लगन लगी की करिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए एहे अगन बिरहों दी जारी एहे अगन बिरहों दी जारी कोई हमारी प्रीत निवारी बिन दर्शन कैसे तरिए बिन दर्शन अब कैसे तरिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए अब लगन लगी की करिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए भुल्ले पई मुसीबत भारी भुल्ले पई मुसीबत भारी कोई करो हमारी कारी यह अजय है दुख कैसे जारी यह अजय है दुख कैसे जारी ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए अब लगन लगी की करिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए अब लगन लगी की करिए ना जी सकिए ते न मरिए Thank you, Master. Thank you, Lord. Radha Swami.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, so nice to see you, my dear, beautiful, holy family of Master. Yesterday was a feast of love, and the last 3 days were a feast of love, and we're more love today. The love never stops; it continues. With God, He's the most generous. His hand is like that, and we have to become as holy and as generous and as subtle as God is, and He is always He's always looking for us, just like somebody who hides behind the door and then clears his throat to give himself away. And that's how God is. He's so close to us. He's not farther away than the door of the heart, not far there away than the door of the heart. He's right there waiting for us, and He's giving Himself away. Even in the poetry of Hafiz, one of the poems, and he's saying, God tells him God was in an ecstatic mood. I mean, God is always in an ecstatic mood. Hafiz was in an ecstatic mood, and then he said, because God was talking in him, he said, "Give my address to everyone. Give my address to everyone." And where is God's address? It's right here. Oh, by the way, for those who missed my seva yesterday at Sisha because it was very late, some people asked me to play a video, so don't go away. After my few words, and I'm gonna play it again because some people asked for it. and it is my meet. It was me celebrating with Master's babies. So we made this short video. So don't go away. After my talk, I'll play it so you can see it. And I start my few words by just putting my head on Father God's feet, on Satpurusha's feet, on my holy master, Sant Singh, who I'm always so grateful to just have that he appeared in my life. He appeared like the biggest grace and the biggest blessing, and he changed me, and he's still changing me, and he will keep changing me till I become as subtle, as beautiful, as delicious as he is at some point, as Ishwar Puri Ji at some point. And it's a journey of love. And this journey of love, the path is as important as the destination. Every moment of it, when we are in God, when we are in Master, when we are climbing the stairway of love, then every moment is a pleasurable moment. Every moment, every moment is a blessing, even though sometimes it looks like it's not a blessing. I will tell you a miracle. For the past 2 weeks, I've been dealing with my shower leaking. First, I fixed it, but then I ruined everything. In 1 week, it stopped working, and and then I called the plumber. The plumber came, he fixed it. It still leaked. Then I called him again. He came again. He fixed it again, and it still leaked. Then he came for the third time, and it still leaked. Then and I did everything with Simran. And I'm like, why isn't it working? I was thinking of Baba Sawan and Master while holding the wrench and all that, but nothing worked. Then I talked to my sister Stephanie, and she's like, okay, keep repeating my perfect shower head, my perfect bathroom, my godly bathroom, my perfect godly bathroom, and an idea will come. I said, yes, why not? I will try it. I'm desperate. So I kept repeating my godly bathroom, my godly shower head. With Simran, repeated it with Simran, with love and devotion. And guess what? The idea came. The idea came. And I just Googled something on Amazon, and it was a small piece that's like a shut off valve that you put on the shower head. And I'm like, that's it. I felt my soul told me. Even when the plumber was fixing, my soul told me it's not going to work. 3 times my soul told me while he was doing it, it's not work. But once I saw this piece directly, my soul told me, here is the answer. There is the blessing. There is the grace coming from Master. And and the grace came, and I put it yesterday in 1 minute. There is no more leaks in my shower. Thank God, thank Master, and thank Master. And this is how we should do in our daily life. Whatever doesn't work, remember, God is all success. God has no failures. And there is a solution for every problem in God. As Sant Kirpal says, no is only in the dictionary of the fools, that everything is a yes for God. Everything is a yes for Master. All what we have to do is do the positive affirmations. Do the positive affirmations in everything in our life. Add Master to it, and then it will be a success. It will be a success. Even in our spiritual development, we could just always repeat, God lives in me. I am the child of God. I'm growing in God. I am perfect. Even though we're not perfect, just think that you are perfect, and what you think, so shall you become. My inner self is Master. Everything is Master. We keep these positive affirmations. The positive affirmations bring positivity. If we fear something, we repeat what we fear, we think of what we fear, we manifest what we fear. Then there will be the other thing, the failure. But I don't want to even mention that because we are all success. Here in the holy gathering of Father God, in the circle of lovers, success is our title. Success is our title. There is nothing but success in our life. And every situation, and everybody we meet, it is like meeting God. Why? Because Master, when he meets anybody, he has the piercing eyes. He has the piercing eyes, And when we pierce through something, then we see its core. And what is in the core of everything? In the core of everything, there is Master. So Master doesn't judge anyone. He kicked the judge away. You know how we still have the judge, misjudge or Mr. Judge still sitting inside of us. And Mr. Judge and misjudge are what keeping us from God. When we start to judge, this person is not spiritually developed. This person is more spiritually developed than the other person. This is that. Then what happens? We put an obstruction to totality. We put an obstruction to totality in our way. But when we with Master, he pierces through everything and sees himself, sees the light of God in all the creation. That's why he has unconditional love. So to become unconditional love, we have to kick the judge out. We have to kick the judge out, give him a leave of notice, and we don't want to see the judge again. That way, when we kick the judge out, then we take the obstruction between us and Master away. It will be lifted at some point, and what will happen to us? We will whirl, we will dance in love, and we will become empty. Those who become empty, they are filled with God. Beggars are considered to be nothing, but out of nothing came everything. Out of nothing came everything. As Ishwar Puriji says, from Shunya, which is nothing, everything was created. So to become nothing is to become everything. To become nothing is to become everything. And that is why the lovers of God they try their best. They pray to become nothing. They pray to become nothing. As in the Holy Bible, it says, first in this world, last in the kingdom of God. Or it is easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. What that means really, it's not like literally, but what that means is when we have our ego, when we think we are the doer, then we cannot enter into this eye of the needle, this mustard, this narrow door that leads to God. Straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that leads to God. However, very few shall find it. Why? Because the ego has to be slain. The judge has to go away. And what takes the judge out? What takes the ego out? It's selfless service. Selfless service. And selfless service, when we do the hardest selfless service, like go clean the bathrooms of the disciples of God, or do the lowest menial things in the ashrams, where in the houses of worship, do the hardest sevas. That's where it brings the biggest blessings, the biggest blessings. And when we do the seva of God, of course, our egos get rubbed together, and the brave ones do not pack up and leave. When our egos are rubbed, and God, since God is everything. Any situation that comes from us is coming from God. So if somebody rubs our ego, are we going to get mad at that person? Or we're going to say he's just master in a different form, trying to show us where we are, trying to show us our spiritual level and what has to be given away, what has to be peeled. As the lover of God is like an onion. When we come to Master, we're like a big onion. And then Master, with his piercing looks, with his darshan, with his love starts to peel. It peels one layer after the another layer, after another layer, after another layer, and another layer. And there are so many layers. There are desires in us that we have given away, but there are sub desires, inner desires that we don't even know about, that Master has to peel away. He has to peel all the layers, just like an onion, and reach the core of the onion. And just like if you put light, if you put a torch and you cover it with one cover, and then you put another bucket on it and another bucket on it, then there is no light at all. But the torch is there, the light is there, the lamp is there, and it is just covered with many, many covers. And that's what Master does to us. He just starts to peel the layers one after the other, removing one cover after the other cover after the other cover, until the light is shown, until the light is shown fully, until the light is shown fully. So we all have God inside of us. God is just being hidden by the physical, astral, causal, and other spiritual bodies, layers. All these things the Master takes away one by one by one. And slowly, slowly, as we become closer to the core where the light is, we start to see glimpses, we start to see flickers of that light. We start to feel the love that's coming from the core. And that love permeates, really, that love permeates and pierces through all levels, through all levels. So even though God is hidden inside of us, but He is there, and still the love, when we connect with the Shabd, when we connect with our inner self, when we go inside, when we think of Master, then he permeates all these obstructions and the love comes out. But those who remove, those who really lovers who melt in God and who remove, keep removing daily the layers by the grace of the Master as he removes all layers, then the light is shown more and more and more. And that light at some point will become effulgent, will become effulgent. And when the light is effulgent and everywhere, then everybody can benefit from that light. Everybody can benefit from the light of God inside of us as it starts to show. As and what Master wants, he would just wants us to remove the layers by surrendering ourselves to him. As he's the doctor, he's the surgeon, he does the work. We just have to sit in his boat, we just have to relax in him, we just have to surrender to his feet and let him do. How do we surrender to the feet of the Master? How do we let him do? How do we let him clean us? By just thinking about him, just feeling his presence, by just concentrating on him, by just sitting here at the third eye center, here at the doorway of God, and knock, knock, and knock, knock, and the door shall open. Seek, and you shall find. Keep knocking. Never give up, never give up, never give up. Perseverance, patience, perseverance is really the essence of all spirituality. Patience, patience is what Rumi says, that keeps the female camel giving her child milk even after 3 years or 4 years. She's still giving him milk. Patience only does that. Patience only does that. And with patience, we can reach into the milk of God. We can get that nectar, that honey, by being perseverant and patient and being brave, never to run away from the path, even though we might go through heavy cleaning. So many people go through heavy cleaning, then run away. They run away from the path of love. But really, to stick to the path of love under any circumstances and to say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Master, you are cleaning me. Thank you, Master, you brought this situation to show me my inner self, that there is still some medication that has to be taken. I am still a patient in your hospital. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, yesterday, somebody said that he comes and gives talks in Michael Bahu's, he said my name wrong, Michael Bahu's satsang. And I just want to make it clear, it's not my satsang. I am just doing seva here. It is Heather's satsang, Bobby's satsang, Mike's satsang, Prempal's satsang, Dr. Chan's satsang. It's everybody's satsang, and really, it's Ishwarji's satsang. So I wanted to just everybody to know that it's not my satsang. I'm just doing the seva of the host, and that's it. And everybody can do seva here. It's a platform for everybody to do seva, whether it is in the background, whether it is in the background as coordinators and schedule makers, and there's so much, or technicians, or people who post the satsangs. There's so much seva here to be done, so much seva to be done. And in the future, there'll be more people. So it is also their satsang. It's the satsang of the future ones who did not join us yet, but our hearts are connected to them, and at some point they will join us, and it will be a big reunion under Master's grace, under Master. It will be a big reunion under Master's grace that we will all unite together and we will grow. We will grow and we will grow in love. The more we clean our inner selves, the more Master will bring the people. The more our light shines, the more it becomes magnetized by the power of Master, and it will attract more people. It will attract those seekers that are yearning. They are yearning so this world, there are so many seekers. As all nature is moving towards God at its own pace, everyone at his own pace is seeking for God, whether he's seeking through Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or any religion, or whether in the animal form looking for love. It doesn't matter. All creation, all nature is moving towards God. And us, we are at the end of the ladder, and we have been given the light of God. We have been given the inner master. We know the way to bliss. We know the way to always being happy. We know the way to divinity and to the light of God. We know it. We know the way to the kingdom of God that the rest don't know. And to help others before self, it's really the selfless service. If we want the blessing only for ourselves, only for the individual self, then the saints and masters say, no, we are wrong. That is selfish. That is selfish. We have to want that bliss. We have to want that ecstasy. We have to want that eternal happiness to everybody. And all what we do is just be there. Well, and we don't even have to speak. We don't even have to speak. That love has no language. Love just permeates and pierces. And our presence in the midst of society, without words, without even opening our mouth, then it helps. People see the light. God, Master shows the light. Master shows in which heart he is sitting. He shows if he wants to show. If he wants to show, he will show. And so many people will come to us. We don't even have to talk, but they will be mesmerized. They will be mesmerized by our inner light. As that inner light, the light of God, very few people have. Very few. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leads to life. However, very few shall find it. We have found it. We keep cleaning our inner self. And what happens? Then that love will become contagious. It will just go from one heart to the other heart to the other heart. Let me tell you something. I have taken so many people that came in my work, when I did Uber to Master, and those people are not lost. And when I see them, and some of my friends that I took to Master, he caught them. He caught them with his love. They will never be lost. Love catches. Love pierces. Love catches. Love transforms. Love does everything. And everybody that came from my friends in my neighborhood that I took to Master sits in them now. And somehow when they see me, they start to talk about Master. They start to ask about spirituality. He is sitting in their heart. You could see their yearning souls. You could see their yearning souls. Even the ones, even the ones that did not come to Master, but yet we talked to them about Master. I see the yearning started in their hearts. Even in my worldly family, in my worldly cousins, when we pierce deep inside, we see that they are somehow they are looking for God in some way or another. They are looking for God. They might be looking in a wrong way, but that's part of the lesson. As this life is just a lesson, one life after another life after another life, we keep learning love. What we learn, love. We learn the law of karma. What you sow, so shall you reap. Every life we learn something. More love is added on us every life. So we were at that stage at some point. We were looking for happiness through money. We were at that stage, so we cannot judge it. We just see, look at it, that wow, they are at this stage now, but they will grow. They will then they will be dissatisfied. They will and then they will look in a different way. And people and souls keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, until ultimately there's so much seeking in the heart. The fire is burning within, and then it brings the inner master. It brings the outer master. And that is the most beautiful thing, that it is all about the intensity in the heart, intensity in the heart of the seeker, that once the fire becomes raging, it brings the outer master. The outer master brings the inner master. The inner master pulls us, and keeps pulling us to the core of creation. And that pulling of the inner master to our soul is the joy of the journey. It is the essence of the journey of love. It is what makes us whirl and dance, makes us whirl and dance every time we think of Ishwarji, Sant Thakur Singh, Sant Kirpal Singh, Sant Ajaib Singh. We start to whirl and whirl and whirl and whirl. That whirling empties us. It's the dance of the soul of the lovers, the dance of the soul of the lovers. And we keep on dancing. We keep on dancing day after day after day until we become pure at heart, are the ones that shall see God pure at heart. And that's what we want. We want a white heart, a clean heart, a heart that doesn't judge anyone, and a heart that serves everyone, a heart that is ready to clean the bathrooms, a heart that is ready to go on the knees and dig in the gardens, do all types of seva for Master. That is the heart that is needed. And that is the heart of God. That is the heart of God. And that is the heart with no ego. A heart with no ego serves everyone and thinks he is the lowest. Thinks he is the lowest and serves everyone. And this is how God will pull us inside. When we become nothing, when we when our ego is totally removed, and he will pull us. So this is all what I wanted to say. I'll play with you the Masters BVs. Oh my God, I had such. I can't describe the bliss. And I told them, please, can I share a moment of this love? And they said yes, as my seva for Sisha. And they said yes, you can. We can. So we made a small video. And yeah, every moment with the BVs. Oh, I was thanking God and putting my head on His feet for allowing me to be with those souls that are ancient, those souls who have served Satpurush. Imagine how old souls they are, picked, just to be with them is a big blessing, and and brings Master totally. It just brings his energy, and it cannot be described. And yes, I thank Master for those beautiful moments. And as we grow more and more, he will keep putting us with each other, and we will enjoy God in each other. We will enjoy God in each other, and it won't be a suffering enjoyment, because the lovers of God are not after anything else that the worldly people go after, but they are only after the beloved. They are only after God. They're only after the kingdom of God. And we only raise each other up. We will not bring each other down. We will only just raise each other. And that is the beauty. That is the beauty of this path. That is the beauty of this path, that love only carries. Love only carries. And if one of the lovers on the steep mountain of love, on the path of love, falls down, we have the hands to pull him up, and the hand of Master, of course. We join hands with Master's hand, and we all help each other go up, not go down. So we have nothing to do with anything that is worldly. Nothing. All what we want to do when we come together, where two or more gather in my name, there I am. We come together for only one purpose, and that is to just have more. Put the candle, put 2 candles together, put 3 candles, 4 candles, 5 candles, 10 candles, 100 candles. It becomes a torch of gold, and that is the beauty. That is the beauty. That one coal might lose its heat very fast, but you put many coals, many pieces of coal together. Oh my God! And it warms the whole atmosphere, and that's what we are. When we are by ourselves, it's different. But even though we have master, but there's some big blessing when all these coals come together and make a big bonfire, make a big heat, and that is master in each one of us comes up and becomes a big torch, like the big bonfire where Guru Nanak was sitting around, and all his lovers were around, and they were all just getting some heat, the heat of love, the warmth of love from that bonfire of love. Thank you, Master, for the seva and for giving me a few words.
Born a second time in this world. The greatest service one can render is to merge his soul by freeing it from attachment of both mind and matter in the ocean of peace and bliss, of which it is a particle or a drop. The path we follow consists of exploring spirituality through a meditation practice designed to help us understand the nature of human existence and experience higher levels of consciousness to merge our soul in the ocean of peace and bliss. We are beginners on a very long journey. In the process of our seeking, and by the grace and after many lives, we have come to the feet of a spiritual master, and he has given us a technique for spiritual evolution along with his guidance and support. Our real identity is soul, and that soul, which is a drop of the ocean of consciousness of God, longs to return to its true home and become one with the Supreme Father. The technique of meditation we are taught consists of repetition or simran of the 5 holy names, and in order to still, quiet and purify the mind, followed by bhajan or listening to the inner spiritual sound. The masters teach us this sound, which the saints refer to as Shabad or Naam, is a manifestation of God and creates and sustains the whole creation. It is the word of the Bible and the logos of Greek philosophy. The meditation practice is supported by a specific way of life which includes a lacto-vegetarian diet and abstaining from mind-altering drugs, alcoholic drinks and tobacco products, and leading a clean, moral life. Daily meditation is part of the disciple's way of life. It is spiritual discipline. And it is not so easy to conquer the mind and ego, which have been used to running into the world for eons. It can feel like an insurmountable challenge, and we certainly have our ups and downs, and sometimes we might find or feel dry and discouraged in our efforts in meditation, and yet it's something that we've committed to ourselves to pursue, so we need to keep at it. There is a story about the devil laying out all of his tools on the table, and someone comes along and sees an unusually large, bright tool and says, "What is this tool, O devil?" And the devil says, "This is my best tool. This is discouragement." Even though the masters have stated that there are no failures in Sant Mat, we may sometimes feel like we are failing and we are not making any progress. Having climbed the top of a mountain, the mountaineer stands at the peak in awe and a great sense of satisfaction and wonder. Looking down, he sees that there is real meaning to his climb, to his journey. But if he had flown to the top of the mountain in a helicopter, he would he would not need to feel so much of that feeling, that understanding, and that awe. It is the journey that makes the destination ever more meaningful. The struggle and effort seem to play a part in our becoming better people and perhaps making us more worthy disciples. As to your bhajan and simran, progress on the path is not the same pace for everyone. However, progress is always there, even though we are not conscious of it. No matter how much effort is ever spent in vain, one should continue to persevere lovingly and regularly without trying to check every week or every month how much he has progressed. This one comes to know automatically only when the path has been sufficiently cleared and one is nearing the eye center or appreciably improving in concentration. There is always progress, although we may not be conscious of it, but perhaps we might try our efforts. We get a sense of discouragement. Perhaps trying to assess our own efforts is a bad move because we just cannot see the whole picture. To discourage and dishearten someone is to deprive him of courage, hope, or confidence. The prefix dis is discourage, means away. So discourage means to take away one's courage. And the root of that word, courage, is the French cœur, which means heart. To discourage is to remove heart, or as the definition says, to dishearten. But how do we define courage? What is actually being taken away? Courage is defined as spirit, resolution, tenacity, mental or moral strength to resist opposition or hardship. Courage implies the firmness of the mind and willpower in the face of danger and extreme difficulty. So, as courage applies to our spiritual path, we need tenacity and moral strength to resist opposition and hardship, firmness of mind and willpower in the face of difficulty. Now, to be a spiritual seeker means having the courage to face one's own mortality and to be drawn to seek answers to the mysteries of life. Looking at our own lives honestly, this takes courage. Seeking the mysteries of life takes courage. And when we have a long way to go and we are tired and it seems that there is no end in sight, we may feel discouraged or become disheartened. It is human and natural when the road and the distance we need to travel seems long. But when the road feels too long, the Master comes and reminds us to take heart. Stepping back and viewing our circumstances from a higher level can give us fresh perspective. As Great Master wrote, do not feel disappointed at when you call retrogression. There is no such thing as retrogression on the path, but such yells of dryness and lack of devotion often occur in the life of a devotee. In fact, these spells of depression are in a way to spur on greater effort. Otherwise, we are likely to become static and complacent. Now, there is no reason to feel disheartened on this path. Go on, attend your meditation daily with love and devotion, leaving all else in His hands. He knows His duty and will not fail to pay the wages due. Worldly cares will always remain with us in some form or the other, so long as we are here. Try to rise above them and keep your thoughts in meditation. On the journey, there are always going to be ups and downs, and there will always be dry times, and even they serve a purpose. They spur on greater effort. Now, acceptance and understanding of our hardships give us greater picture. Now, there may be some significance in the fact that God has created us on this long, seemingly difficult journey. We are forced to remember that life is difficult and it is an uphill battle. There are no ideal circumstances and we all have our struggles. The masters encourage us onwards. They say that we know you have challenges and trials, but these things will teach you and strengthen you. And so we learn to be better, more loving and more flexible people. We are working for an ideal, striving for an ideal. If we are perfect, we wouldn't be here, the Master says. The Masters accept this and encourage us in this effort to improve. We are all struggling souls trying to improve. None of us is perfect yet. The Masters have told us that we are always making progress, whether we realize it or not. Trying to assess ourselves is a bad idea because we cannot do so accurately. He has his own timeline and he knows when it is safe to increase our love. In a wake-up call, we read, the only thing we can say with certainty is that each of us is placed in the precise circumstance that is in our best interest, where we can best clear our karmas, where we can best live out our destiny for this life and fulfill our duties at the same time. We may have to read the story of King of Bukhara who asked Sant Kabir for initiation, and Kabir said, "No, you are not ready." Then Kabir asked his wife, my lord, to dump the house sweepings on the king's head as he stood in the courtyard. The king reacted strongly and arrogantly. Some years passed when Kabir once again asked his wife to throw the sweepings of the king's head, and this time the king responded humbly, "May you, the doer of this, live long." This mind was still full of ego and the self, and it had to be treated this way. This is symbolic of what we have to go through life. We are paying back the results of our own actions. The king finally was humbled through the service to Kabir and accepted the sweepings being dumped on his head. So we become humble when we accept the events of our life and understanding. The Master advises us to go through it all and stay cheerful. Keep going and stay upbeat. Be encouraged. Have courage. Keep a positive outlook. The Master always advises us. Although we have obstacles and struggles and hardships to overcome, we will be given the strength and wisdom to meet those obstacles. We will be given the understanding to these experiences as they result of our own actions, and we will gain the ability to learn from these experiences, become stronger, better people. We have to be patient and keep working. It's all in his hands. He's not going to pluck the fruit off the tree before it ripens. The Masters often remind us that they know when is the right time to increase their love in our hearts. This path has been described as the school of practical mysticism. It's a school. We enroll. We attend classes, which are meditation, satsang. It's a step-by-step process. A kindergartner cannot earn a PhD degree overnight. But we attend school every day, and slowly we grow and learn. No matter how much we feel that we are failing in our meditation, all that matters is the efforts, our intention, our desire to make the effort. Now, if we have the expectation about results, we are missing the big picture. The Master is always aware of our efforts and will give us the results when he knows that we are ready to experience and digest them. He will always want us to go through our karmas and fulfill our responsibilities. Our effort in itself is a wonderful thing. It plays an important part in this great evolutionary process we are going through. Huzur Maharaji wrote in a letter to his disciple, even in the face of seeming failure, one should continue to practice with faith and devotion. The mind has been going out for countless ages, and each time it becomes even more scattered. Now, the object is to collect the mind to the point of concentration, contact Shabad, and begin our homeward journey. The first step is the most difficult of all and takes a very long time. The length of time depending on the results of our own previous actions, plus the sincerity and amount of steady effort we put in forth in following his instructions. Effort and grace go hand in hand, and the more effort we make, the more grace we receive to make more effort until the goal is reached. A parent loves to watch her little child try to do something that is beyond his capabilities, perhaps to lift a heavy rock or climb a ladder. It is not possible for the child to do this alone, but the parent smiles lovingly as the child tries. She folds out her protective arms to catch the child in case he falls. So the Supreme Father is pleased with our efforts, and the Master tells us that progress is always there, even though we can't receive it, or perceive it, rather. It is the Master's grace who has pulled us onto the path anyway, and has given us the meditation practice. Without his grace, we would not even be interested in spirituality. We wouldn't be discouraged by our meditation practice because we wouldn't even be trying to meditate. So therefore, it is all of the Lord's grace. It has all been initiated by the Lord. As Huzur Maharaji says in the book Die to Live, who makes us yearn? It is not our meditation. It is the Father himself. He uproots us from here and takes us to his own level. Practically, we do nothing. You can take credit that you sit for 2 to 3 hours, but there is something that makes you sit. It is not you or left to you. You wouldn't even sit for 5 minutes. So if you see this from a higher point of view, it is definitely the Father who is pulling us up to his own level. It is not our efforts at all. So although we have our struggles, the grace is behind all our efforts and our ups and downs. The struggle becomes meaningful when we get to the top of a mountain. Prayer and love are really learned in the hour when prayer becomes impossible and your heart turns to stone. You would profit much by patiently resisting distractions and learning something of your own helplessness and incapacity, no matter how distracted you are. Pray by peaceful, even perhaps inarticulate efforts to center your heart upon God, who is present to you in spite all that is going on in your mind. His presence does not depend on your thoughts of him. He is unfailingly there. If he were not, you could not even exist. The memory of his unfailing presence is the surest anchor for our minds and hearts in the storms of distraction and temptation by which we are purified. Now that we have established the fact that all this is due to the Lord's grace, we can turn our attention to following his instructions without expectations or judgment. Yes, we all have obstacles and difficulties, but at the same time, we have that sense of wonder and grace as we go through our lives. We are striving to get closer to God, and in our everyday lives, the divine presence is there. The river of love and peace is flowing through our lives. But if we take the divine time to look for it, to listen for it, we might just experience it. We may have the difficulties that we all have, but at the same time, we have the sense of a spiritual presence, the Shabad, the grace of the Master. And as we keep on striving to follow his path, it is his grace that gives us the courage and inspiration to keep us going. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Shalina. Wow. Seva, wonderful, beautiful, and powerful seva done with passion. I love the passion for God in it, and the love. Thank you so much. And please, please do more seva. We're looking forward for more, as it was amazing. So now we're gonna play master unless somebody wants to add anything or saying or. Just play master? Okay, I'll play master.
Friends, we have come to the final part of our program here in the Garrison Institute. It's a lovely place. You must have gone around, seen the garden and the Hudson River flowing nearby. In the old days, the mystics used to say it's nice to meditate near a river. And there were many reasons, because there was abundant water supply, there was a nice atmosphere. And another thing was that the sound of the river, if you sat near a river, the sound of the river was able to submerge other sounds of distractions. And so meditation became a little easier. So sometimes it has been suggested that one should go to places where there is a natural sound, what they call white sound. The white sound seems to suppress other sounds, because otherwise there are, in modern days, traffic sounds, cars are going, trucks are moving, trains are going, so they can all interfere with our trying to concentrate our attention behind the eyes. But if you cannot do it, then one can choose a nice place within one's house where there is the least distraction from outside sounds. That is why in meditation, in order to listen to the sound, they recommend that you close your ears, close your eyes. And if you have nothing else, you can close your eyes and ears with your hands. Or you can, in modern days, use earplugs. We didn't have earplugs in India when we were young, and I remember everybody had to use their hands. So the idea is to minimize the distractions of external sounds and external lights and so on. Some people would take recourse to meditating in caves, because the caves were dark and there was no sound coming in. One American disciple of great master, Dr. Julian P. Johnson, who wrote books later on. The most famous one, which has affected many people in this country, was The Path of the Masters. And in that book, he records all that he learned from the great master. There's a very interesting book about the path. When he came to India and he found the importance of avoiding distractions, and he found that the real serious meditators are going and meditating in the caves, he went and built his own cave on the bluff of the river. And he made a nice cave. He could afford a better cave, so he made a little slightly bigger cave. And he also laid a mat on the caves instead of sitting on the floor. And then he made a little door also, so that the cave could be closed without shutting off all the air. But it was such a wonderful thing. He gave me the chance to sit in his cave sometimes. And I found that meditation in his cave was so easy because the sound would come by itself. In that kind of an atmosphere, when there's no external disturbance, it was not difficult to hear the inner sound. So I realized that in modern days, when we are trying to meditate and we complain we can't hear the sound, very often it is because of too much distracting sound and noise outside. Sound inside is different from any sound outside. But a Japanese spiritual teacher who I met in a conference said that he is trying to develop an artificial cave, a glass cage, in which there will be no sound. He will make it soundproof so that he can hear only the inner sounds and no outer sound. So he made one in his ashram about 20 miles outside of Tokyo and invited me to come and see it. So I said, I don't know any place in this universe where there is no sound at all of any kind. I just don't know. I've never been to any such place. Everywhere there is some sound or the other going on. And if there's no sound outside the body, the breathing becomes a sound. Anyway, I went and examined his glass cave that he had made and made it soundproof. And even the air inlet, the oxygen inlet that he allowed was so soft that you couldn't hear it. So I sat in that and I said, there's a lot of noise here. You try it. He said, I have never heard my breathing so loud as I can hear in this. I never heard my heartbeat so loud as I hear in this. So there is no time that we are ever bereft of sound. Sound surrounds us all the time. And therefore, to pick up the sound internally, we can do our best to avoid outside sounds. I know we can't make caves here, and nor is it necessary to make caves, because the real cave is the cave inside our head. Great Master explained that if you don't look at the cave outside, if you don't look at the room in which you are sitting outside, if you don't care for the chair on which you are sitting outside, but only concentrate your attention on considering that this head of yours is your meditation chamber, that this head alone is the place where you have to sit and nowhere else, it becomes like a cave. And this was a tip he gave to me several years after I was initiated. And I was struggling with this problem of other sounds becoming loud, including the body sounds, when he told me that if you think this is the cave above the eyes, and this is where you're sitting, you don't need another cave. That's why you must have noticed, I keep on insisting, please make this your meditation chamber. You are on the 6th floor of this house. You have to draw your attention behind the eyes and stay within the head. The reason I have been saying this for the last couple of days to you is that this becomes our cave, and it's the easiest way to avoid outside interference of outside noise. So therefore, before we start meditation, it's not during meditation, before we start meditation, we should practice sitting in the head. Somebody asked me, I am not initiated. What can I do before I am initiated? Can I do some practice to be ready for initiation? I said, start practicing sitting in your head. It's a good start. It will prepare you very well for effective meditation when you get initiated. So this is so important Now I'm talking only from experience. I am not sure if I've read about it in books that much, that it is so essential before you start meditation to consider that the only place you are in is your head. The only room in which you are meditating is consisting of the walls of the head. That the only floor on which you are sitting is behind your eyes. And if you do that, you'll get a jump start on meditation. Otherwise, it takes much longer to concentrate your attention behind the eyes. So that's a tip I wanted to give you before I leave and conclude this session with you. We have come to the close of this session, and I know many of you wanted to have one-on-one interviews. I knew there wouldn't be enough time for all. So what we decided was that those who have come from very far off, from outside this country, they should be given the first chance. And those who have never had an interview with me before, they should get the next on the list. And those who have had several interviews already and who are likely to have many more in the future, who are not too far away, they come regularly, they can always wait, because they also serve only stand and wait. And therefore, it may be possible to take some names out of that third list, but if we cannot, I apologize in advance that we may not be able to accommodate all for one-on-one personal interviews. But what we are going to do, as we have done before, that we are going to place those names in the order they exist here at the top of the next list we make in whatever next event takes place. And if they happen to be in that event, their names will come on the top. And those whose names are carried over, we always accommodate them next time. So that's why it's only one event away. It's only one step away to get your interview. So don't feel too bad about it. These things happen because of constraint of time. And now I would like to summarize what we have done. I was able to draw your attention to the fact that meditation should be done behind the eyes in the head. Because the mind speaks so much, chatters so much, therefore we should use a mantra to repeat so that the mind's language can be squelched with the words of the mantra. Thirdly, the mantra should be listened to and not merely spoken, because the mind has a habit of just repeating like a parrot at one level and going on thinking at another level. If that happens, if you find that the mind is thinking at another level, don't interrupt what is being done. Let the second level join the repetition at the same point where you detect it. The moment you detect mind is still thinking something, and while you are repeating, then let two sounds, two voices in your head start the mantra. If you find more voices, add more voices. Normally, people go up to 3 levels or 4 levels. Some minds can have very subtle voices up to 4th, 5th level. There was one man who claimed that he, of course, in discussion with me about this system of meditation, said in his mantra, he could hear the mind chatting away even on the 8th level. And that was Dalai Lama of Tibet, and where we discussed this with him. So there are very few people who have that problem of so many levels of the mind operating like that. But no matter how many voices come up, instead of dismissing them, instead of stopping to meditate, instead of stopping to repeat the mantra, join all those voices and hear a chorus of voices repeating and listen attentively. Don't forget, the object of this repetition is to put your attention behind the eyes. That's the whole object. When you try to listen to something happening behind the eyes, your attention automatically goes there. Therefore, the more you can practice listening to the words you are repeating, it draws your attention. Nothing draws attention more to something than listening. Even if you're listening to a friend, the more intently you listen, the more attention you are giving to that person. And if a friend is speaking and you are thinking of something else, you are not paying attention. So it's very simple that listening gives you the power to put attention and not speaking. So speaking can be habitual. Speaking can be made into a habit. And it's sometimes a good idea to make your mantra a habit so that you start with a baseline of repetition. If you make the mantra a habit, which can be done if you repeat all the time, while walking, while talking, while doing other things, while cooking, even while driving. If you repeat this habitually, one day it becomes your habit to repeat. You can see even when you are not noticing, the repetition is going on. Even when you go to sleep, you wake up in the middle of the night, you are repeating the words. If you make it a habit, it helps a lot in a good startup, in second and third layers of repetition. If in the course of meditation, you see some figure coming up, some person coming up, a picture of a person coming up, don't interrupt your repetition. Make that person join in. If you see a crowd of people in a meditation, make all of them join your repetition. Do not stop. And if you make its whole big sound, it will be like a resonance of meditation. I went to a few Buddhist monasteries on the border of Tibet when I was working there in Lahaul and Spiti area, and I went to some Buddhist monasteries, and I found that how they create a resonance out of repetition of words. Their mantra was very simple, Om Mani Padme Hum, but how they did it was, if they all repeated at the same time, it would just be loud repetition of these words. What they did was, the first person would start, Om Mani Padme Hum. Second person, when the first person already started, he then started with Om. Third one started when the second one had started. So in totality, when 100 monks were meditating, it was a loud resonance with no words. It looked like a very powerful sound that we are creating, which sometimes matched the sound that was inside. So it was very conducive to putting your attention within. So I was impressed that they are using the principle of generating a resonance out of sound. If you do the same thing in your head, if you see that there are many voices available to you, including voices of other figures that appear in front of you, including the image of your own master, if it appears, Master, join me. If possible, Master, you do the meditation for me. I want to listen more attentively. So no matter what images come in front, make all of them join, and Simran or repetition of mantra becomes far more effective. So I'm giving you another tip that works. After that, once you're doing it, it's inevitable that you will start hearing sounds. If you put your attention there, sounds are there already. They may be practice sounds, that means sounds that don't have a pull in them, but they are still not body sounds. They are not the sound of your breathing. They are not the sound of the blood circulating. They are not any of these physical sounds generated by the physical body. They are sounds which are internal, and they vary and they change. And there are sounds that come like a thunder, come like a very, very squeaky kind of peal behind, some very shrill sound. And then there are some light cricket sounds, like the chirping of crickets. There is chirping of birds. There is the sound of little bells ringing. If these sounds come, select the sound that you want to hear, because attention can pick and choose these sounds. Whenever you hear these sounds, don't be fixed on one sound. Try to see if there's another sound behind it, which means a sound which looks more distant than this. The sound will not be looking, they're coming from the same distance. Look, some sounds are very close to us, and some sounds are coming from a distance. Look for the sound next to the one you are hearing, which is behind the first sound, and you'll be able to pick up something little different from the first one. If you find there's a choice between different kind of sounds, pick up the sound that is closest to the sound of a bell. Very often these is very small, short bells, ting, 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 small bells which come behind that. The beauty of these sounds is that they don't have the beat. It looks like they're mellow and start almost on the middle of the sound and they go on. And that's why these sounds appear as if they were always there and appear that there's nobody striking a bell to create them. After a bell is struck, when we strike a church bell, we strike a bell, that's harsh when the strike is taking place. Then it follows the sound of the bell after that strike. The inner sound is like the sound that follows after the strike of the bell. It does not contain the strike. It does not contain that harsh sharpness at all. It's very mellow and it is lying behind all these sounds. If you have selection, which you will have, that you will hear different sounds, then you make a selection going closer and closer to the bell sound. It's the bell sound, the large, big bell sound with the large peals that will really pull you in. And that can sometimes pull you so fast that scares you. Now I know many people have been scared by that. In fact, one friend of mine in Chicago the other day asked me that I heard that gong which was so frightening, I thought I was going to die. Can you give me a shortcut, a bypass, by which I can bypass that sound and go higher? So my own father, after initiation, when he heard that sound, he was pulled so fast, he thought he was dying and he gave up meditation altogether. And he went to great master, he said, Master, I'm not going to do this meditation, it kills you. I thought it gave life, but we are leading ourselves to death. It's like committing suicide. I don't want to follow this kind of meditation. And great master said, I must tell you, Lekhraj, that was my father's name, that nobody has ever died in meditation, not even a natural death. Isn't that amazing statistics? That nobody ever dies in meditation, not even a natural death they die. Why are you afraid? But supposing you die, what do you expect after initiation? What is your expectation? He says, I am expecting you to be there to receive me. He says, certainly, that's a guarantee. Then why are you afraid? And then he also said that we should do meditation very slow, steady, step by step. When such a sound comes, hear it from a distance and leave it there. Next time, move further towards it. Sometimes the tendency is, because we are so impatient, tendency is to fly quickly to the top. Flying quickly to the top creates such experiences which we are not used to. So therefore, it's best to take it easy, especially till we can hear the sound and ascend to another sky in which we can fly. And we can see the moon and the stars and the sun in their primordial form. The appearance of these heavenly bodies inside does not happen with everybody. Some see it, some bypass it. There are many areas which you can bypass and have a glimpse of something higher before you have a glimpse of something lower. Very often the masters themselves arrange this, that they keep your eyes closed during passing of certain stages and open your eyes when you see something higher. And you say, Master, why did you do that? He says, if you had seen that, you would not move any further. So now you can see on the way back, and you will see how attractive and tempting that stage was, and therefore we allowed you to come up. There is an interesting episode about my master's master. My master was Hazur Maharaj Baba Sawan Singh Ji. His master was Baba Jaimal Singh. And Baba Jaimal Singh was a disciple of Swamiji, Seth Shivdayal Singh Swamiji in Agra. He used to go from Punjab to Agra in Uttar Pradesh in another state to meet his master. Sometimes it was very difficult to travel in those days. It was very time consuming to travel anywhere, very expensive also compared to the economics of that time. But once in a while, these disciples would go to see their master, and they would always write letter in advance to get permission to come. So masters have a small group of people around them, because it was a belief in those days, if the number grows too large, the tendency to make it into religion immediately comes in, because it's very large. Therefore, rules and regulations, do's and don'ts, override even the spiritual path. Therefore, the masters used to say, keep it within manageable limits, and when it becomes too large, well, there will be some masters coming up. These lines don't go forever, they go for a little while, then masters appear somewhere else. Therefore, in those days, it was a very small group that Swamiji used to have in Agra. But one day, Baba Jamal Singh wrote a letter to his master. Beloved Swamiji, Master, I am missing you. I don't know what my heart is doing. I can't do without seeing you. Something is happening. I am missing you so badly. I don't know what to do. Please give me permission to come and see you. After a month, mail was so slow in those days, it almost took a month for a letter to be received and a reply to be sent. After about a month, a reply comes from Swamiji, my beloved son Jamal Singh, I have received your letter and I am very happy to know that your soul is moving around in the higher regions. Jamal Singh said, my soul is going nowhere. This must be somebody else's letter. Swamiji has made some mistake. So he wrote again. He said, beloved master, my soul is going nowhere. Probably that letter was meant for somebody else. I only requested permission to come and see you because I'm missing you so much. So after a month, another reply comes. My beloved son, I'm very happy to know your soul is moving around in the higher regions. And so far as coming to see me is concerned, you can come in the beginning of next month. Puzzled by these two letters, Baba Jamal Singh carried these letters to Agra, and he met Swamiji and placed those letters in front of him. He says, Master, I don't understand these letters. You are saying that my soul is going into higher regions. I have never been to any higher region. I was just missing you so much. My heart was filled with so much love. I didn't know what to do. That's why I wrote to you. And Swamiji laughed and said, let's go inside and meditate for a little while. And there were 10 or 15 other disciples sitting outside. And Swamiji took Jamal Singh by his arm and went inside. And after about half an hour or so, they both came out. And then Swamiji says, now tell me, Jamal Singh, when I wrote that letter to you, was your soul going around in the higher regions? He said, yes, Master. He says, I am not asking if your soul went higher regions today in meditation. I am asking, was your soul going into higher regions when I wrote that letter? He said, yes, Master. To the puzzled other satsangi sitting there, other disciples sitting there, he began to explain what he was talking about. He said, very often, the masters take you to the higher regions, and the soul has experience of that regions. Astral and causal regions create so much feeling of missing somebody that you feel you can't do without it. That love comes up so strong in you that you can't hide it. You say, I have to go and meet that person. It's not coming from nowhere. It's coming from the ascent of the soul. But the soul's nirath, soul's power of seeing, is blocked deliberately so that some other work that you are doing here can be done. There are so many reasons why masters can do this, that they block you, but your ascent is not stopped. When you go within to the higher regions later on, you discover you had gone there earlier. You can yourself see that you had gone there earlier. The rest of the feeling was exactly the same. Only the nirith part was closed. Even the surath part. Surath is the power of listening. Nirith is the power of seeing. These two powers go with us all the time. That the listening power had not been blocked, and this viewing power was only blocked for a while, and therefore you did not know. You cannot have that kind of longing and missing. if nothing is happening inside. So that is why Swamiji explained that spiritual progress cannot always be measured in times of the spectacular things you see. It can be measured by the development of your faith. It can be measured by the longing and love that you are having. It can be measured by the level of devotion that you are having. There are so many other standards. It can be measured by how less angry you are from previous time. It can be measured by how less greedy you are. There are so many other external signs which will show you a progress on the spiritual path. So do not always think it's the spectacle of seeing things that alone shows if you are making spiritual progress. This is something that we learn from experience, that we are always seeking and making some kind of a progress gradually. The example is given of digging a tunnel. You can keep on digging a tunnel, you don't see the light till the end of the tunnel. You don't know how much I have dug the tunnel, I don't know how far the other end is, but you have made progress. You keep on digging more, at the end the light comes. You say, oh, I dug the whole tunnel, I came the whole way. It's the same thing over here, that sometimes you should not be discouraged that the inner spectacles are not there when the other signs are that you are making progress. And the development of faith does not come without some kind of experience going on. When you are making unseen inner progress, your outer life begins to change also. It's affected immediately. Not only is it affected that you have less anger, less lust, less greed, less possessiveness, less ego, not only from that, but that things are turning around automatically to your benefit. Negative situations are becoming positive. Somebody is trying to help you from somewhere, and you feel it and you see it. That's happening around you. Bulle Shah says he is trying to cook some chapatis, but he always puts them on the wrong end. But some power is putting them straight. Oh, that's a very simple. He had a very simple way of saying things. That even when I make a mistake, somebody seems to write it. And I don't know how Lord can do that. But masters do that. That we make mistakes in life. Everybody makes mistakes. We sometimes forget this part. There are some universal things. One universal thing is to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Nobody exists on this planet who's never made a mistake. Therefore, if you make a mistake, you can, if possible, correct it. If not correct it, leave it behind. You can't go back and do anything to the mistake you made. But don't harp upon it forever. Don't carry the guilt of a mistake for a lifetime. People do this, and guilt is one of the obstacles. It's an obstacle to spiritual progress. One should never carry any guilt. What has happened, and there is no way to undo it. All you can do is not make that mistake again. And if you make it again, ask forgiveness and move on. There was a man who came to Great Master. He was sitting in the evening in his chair. Man came running, and we were all sitting. I was there too. I was just sitting next door to watch what's going on. I was young, very young compared to the others. And I saw a man running in. Master, forgive me. You told me not to drink alcohol. I drank last night. I had a bad company. I was in very bad company. You told me don't eat meat. They were only serving meat and I ate it. Master, you told me don't do other things. That was a bad company. I did all kinds of evil things. Master, forgive me. Master said, okay, you are forgiven, don't do it again. He said, thank you, and he ran away. And everybody was puzzled, especially the secretaries of the Master. Those who were very close to him, they doubted what's happened. They said, Master, this man flouted all your rules. And he committed all these evil things which he is admitting in front of you. Instead of punishing him, you said you are forgiven and go. He said, I told him, you are forgiven, don't do it again. What else did you want me to do? He said, Master, supposing he does the same things again, and comes up again to you, what will you do? He said, I'll forgive him again. Master, when will you punish him? He said, there are too many people punishing people. There are too many, our own mind is punishing people. Their own minds are punishing people. Don't put me in the category of punishers. Let me remain in the category of forgivers. Masters are always forgivers. We forget this part, that they forgive. And they say, you are forgiven, don't do it again. That's a great example to us of the forgiveness of a master. They don't carry any evil. Why do this? Why do they forgive? Because they know in what situation we are placed. They see us very differently than we see each other. When a master looks at us, he's able to see all our karma. He's able to see we are trapped in our karma. We are trapped in actions and reactions over which we have no control. He has all compassion for our situation, no matter who we are. He always looks at us with compassion because he can see a lot more than we can see. Therefore, he says they are in such a situation, bad situation, I have to help them. And when a person wants to help, he doesn't want to punish. He says they are already being punished by their own karmas, by their own actions, by their own situation, they are punishing themselves. It's time to forgive. So that is why the masters are always forgiving. And once they forgive, they remove the effect of that karma altogether, which is wonderful to know that if you do make a mistake, ask forgiveness. And I can assure you, you will be forgiven. It does not mean you are getting a certificate to make mistakes in future and make all the mistakes and say forgiveness. It's not like a confessional in a church. You commit sin and then I confess and you're forgiven, then you do another sin. The idea is, to the extent that your free will permits you to correct a mistake or not make it again, do your best. Nobody can do better than their best. Masters say, do your best and leave the rest. Nobody can do better than that. If you do your best, you have done your job. The rest is for the master. If there is some error somewhere, he will forgive. So that's why masters are always forgiving. Their compassion is so natural. The more time you spend with them, the more you will see how strong their compassion is, how forgiving they are, how truly loving they are. They love the soul. They don't love our bodies. When we go before a master, we think he is looking at our body. No, he is looking directly into our soul. And he is seeing where the soul is now stranded, where the soul has been caught up, and how to help this person to get back home. And those on their list, they are bound to take them home, no matter what. It's not conditional. It's not that kind of a condition. If you do 2.5 hours meditation, I will take you home, otherwise, sorry, you go to hell. Religion can do that, not masters. Perfect living masters never do that. Perfect living masters say, you have come and I have accepted you. You're guaranteed to go home with me, not alone. You will go home with me in my company and not alone. You will not travel all the way to various levels of consciousness alone. I'll be with you at every stage, except one, the beginning. The beginning, it's like saying, come to the railroad station, I am waiting with tickets for you. You come to the station, we'll travel together. Come to the airport, I am holding both tickets. You come to the airport, we'll fly together. The long journey we'll do together. Short journey, just a few steps, you do. Just for the feeling to satisfy your mind that I have participated in going to my home. Now, there is another catch here, that when the masters say that you go to the 10th door behind the eyes on your own, and from there we'll go with you, why do they say that? Why don't they say we'll take you right from here? The reason is our own mind. Our own mind does not believe that we can get anything in this life without our own effort and struggle. It's a built-in thing in the mind. I have to do something in order to get something. It's not possible to get something without anything. I can't be sitting at home and get anything at all. For every other thing, I have to struggle, I have to work and then get it. How is it possible that in the spiritual path it's something different? I have to work for it. I must meditate, I must spend my time, I must go and do all that to satisfy this built-in urge of the mind. I say, all right, come work your way, not too far away, work your way up to the 10th door behind the eyes. There's such a long way beyond that into so many regions. We'll go together. And you will not be bothered about how to go there. Because we go every day. We are travelers of that path every day. We are very familiar with the whole path. And therefore we'll take you very comfortably. And if you want to stay on the way, tarry a little, yes. You want to do some sightseeing on the way, we don't mind. They give a long rope for that too. But they will not leave you till they take you back home. That is the beauty of this path. The initiation guarantees you that the Master takes you home with him. And there is another benefit also, a very metaphysical, philosophical benefit. People say, if we reach the top, what do we find? I'm saying, you are all one. That's terrible. We'll be terribly lonely then. Why are we going from so much good company here, all to become alone there? That's not a good idea at all. We don't want to go home. If there's only one in the home, we are going to be lonely all over again. Isn't that the reason why this creation came into being? That the one was so lonely, couldn't do without that loneliness and created this universe to have company? Then what is the idea of reversing all this and going back into loneliness again? Well, the answer is, if you go with the perfect living Master, even within that oneness, the Master and you experience a relationship of love that never ends. Therefore, even loneliness at the top, even in the one, which is the same as you and the Master, but the experience of the love of the Master holds you there, and that experience never goes away. So that's why there's a great other metaphysical benefit of going there, that you get the experience of the love of the Master. Once you start ascending these regions with the Master, you are never alone. You never feel alone at any time. 24/7, day and night, you can never be alone. Sometimes there was a lady in Dera, satsang. She would say, Master, you're always with me, please stay outside when I go to the bathroom. I mean, masters are there all the time. I said, Master, I just feel. So, stories are made like that, but the point of emphasis is that a Master does not send on this path alone. He doesn't say, I am showing you the way, now it's your job to go. Many Masters do that. Those who have not reached the top do that. They say, we know the way, we can tell you, we'll tell you the method, we'll give you a mantra, we'll give you exercises, do them, and now you go. It's in your hands. My job was to teach you, I've taught you, now it's your job to go. Not in the spiritual path of the great Master. He says the Master should be with you all the way up to your true home. And never leave that company. That sense of loneliness which has so much bothered us will always be ending after you go to the 10th door, after you meet me inside in the radiant form. Master manifests himself in the radiant form, in a form that's bright, that can be seen in darkness. That's why we call radiant form. And that form, the Master meets and is our companion forever. We can see him outside and inside. Once you establish that contact inside, it's not that you only see him inside in meditation. You see him with you all the time. You can see him every time you think about him. He manifests like he is alive in a physical body. You're driving your car, he's sitting next to you, chatting with you. It's a wonderful experience. There's nothing like it that I know of. That this kind of friendship and this kind of companionship is possible. I could not imagine. But it's there. This is the kind of relationship one has with the perfect living Master. So I have shared all these things with you in these last few days, and I hope they'll be useful to you. And if they are not useful, you reject them. This is not a path it's not a cult to bind you down at all. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to examine what is inside you. It does not take you anywhere outside. It takes you right inside yourself. The truth lies inside you. The answers to your questions lie inside you. You don't have to go anywhere outside. It's all self-discovery. It's just a way of self-discovery and find what great opportunities exist within us. I hope whatever meditations you are doing, continue. Remember, the place to meditate is behind the eyes, third eye center. I wish you all best wishes, best luck, and all blessings. I give you blessings of great master. The program. Let's try today meditation behind the eyes with love and devotion, where you visualize your beloved and you express your love to the beloved